Welcome to another episode of Music Therapy. I am John Thewin, a mental health therapist, and today we are listening to Money Game by REN Part 1 because of you recommending it. If you have any other songs you want to see me react to, please drop them in the comments. We have an amazing community we're building, so glad to have you here. Let's get right into it.
It's a strange time we're living in. War can put fear in. Hierarchy parties, they make us feel inferior. Greed runs free, parliament in theories. Devils walk among us, they fit the criteria. Eerie theories, strive fearing weary-minded men when we're clearly living in dictatorships. Nearly blinded by illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain.
Wow, so immediately he's already getting into the nitty-gritty of our corrupt culture here. And this idea that we can be traumatized by news, by the news cycles, by things we see online, it's unprecedented in terms of things we've experienced before. We're plastered with all of this information, and some of it can really negatively affect our brains.
By illusions to choose who's fooling who. A ball chained to your shoes on pain. It's a crying shame. The pursuit of our own wealth lights a flame that makes greed a game that lets this whole world burn. As the world turns, the whole world burns. But money was invented for trade. But now those bits of paper twist hearts, make slaves, turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer.
Whoo, that image right there of him holding the gun at this guitar player is raw, because greed absolutely corrupts people in so many ways. We've seen it across history, we've seen it in contemporary society, and it makes us into people we despise sometimes, right? If we want more money, sometimes people will betray their values in order to get it and do criminal things to get there. And that is what he's saying with this money game we're living in. It brings greed and corruption into this culture and this world we're living in.
Turns a saint into a sinner, a child into a killer. His finger on the trigger of a money game. Oh, rain, 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 rain. A storm it comes our way, and those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this old money game.
Yeah, so the idea that people who deceive get to power higher and more frequently is totally true. We see it all the time in politics, and it is scary to think that people in power often are deceptive and they're not telling the public what we want to hear. And it is easier to blame, and we know this psychologically as well. It's easier to look out a window than it is in the mirror, because we all love to point the finger and say, oh, it's his fault, it's your fault. But really, it's hard to take accountability, and it's easy to blame, hard to take internal criticism and internal accountability for our lives.
We're all part of this old money game. Stop. Dear Mr. President, it's evident that everyone's a resident of fear when they support these ideas to keep us separate, when they make us believe that everybody is coming to terrorize you in the streets. They say proudly through gritted teeth, that's my right to hate, that's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder like savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called a...
Wow, so that flow is so raw, hard to keep up with there, frankly. But let's go back. So he's saying that when did freedom become a reason to hate? And this is so powerful, because just because we have freedom, people sometimes go all in to the opposite side of freedom, and they say, let me say some hateful things and let me just be a bigot for no reason and not have any personal responsibility. And we cannot have freedom without responsibility. Responsibility to be kind, to be understanding, to be a good person to ourselves and to others. And we can't have full freedom with no responsibility. We need both. And that is what he's talking about here. He's talking about the far right side of the spectrum where people are saying some pretty hateful, bigot things, and it's not okay.
That's freedom of speech. But when did freedom become a reason to hate? A way to justify a racist slur or insult we make? There's an irony in freedom, cause us in the West, we have pillaged and plundered the murder that's savages, colonized all of the rest. That's called hypocrisy. Preach a certain value that you never keep yourselves. Your country was in flames, you denigrate yourselves in a second. Still you spit your venom, demonizing immigrants when really you're the immigrant. Cause all of us are immigrants or descended from immigrants. Irony is imminent. I'll shed the light on immigrants. America was colonized by Britain. Britain, it was colonised by Rome, and also colonised by the Saxons. They were German, by the way. You know how people throw shade upon the Germans because of history's pain, and yet we make the same mistakes all again. Demonise a whole people, Jewish or Muslim, the same and the same. Old situations play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat, yeah, we worship the bleak.
Wow, yes, so he is diving into the history of some institutionalized problems that we faced and some anti-immigrant, anti-German, anti-Jew sentiment that has been carried on and is absolutely factual. He is not saying anything remotely controversial. His history repeats itself because of the cycle of hatred and the money game that breeds the greed that incurs the hatred that we're facing.
Old situations play on repeat, the same old TV shows repeat, yeah, we worship the bleak. Our opinions aren't our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right, in the middle we sleep.
Wow, he's saying that we are sheep to other people imposing their values upon us, and that is pretty accurate because a lot of us don't read the news, we don't care to make our own politically informed decisions, and it's so important to care for our mental health first before caring for anything else. But it is so crucial that we discuss mental health and how money and how all of this corruption can affect it. We know for the first time ever in psychology that if we don't have money, we don't have safety. We cannot feel psychologically safe, and we need that. And vicarious trauma, so important to prevent, and we can deter that by not watching news frequently, by not engaging in criminal online activities, or even, reading about crime in the news, in the paper that day, because it can really lead to feelings of hypervigilance and inability to sleep.
On our own and we follow like sheep. There's no left, there's no right, in the middle we sleep. Rain, 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 a storm it comes our way, and those who rise through distorted lies, poison in the veins. But we'd like to point the blame, 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 blame. It's easier to blame, but point the mirror at ourselves. We're all part of this whole money game.
What is going on here with his abusive relationship here with his guitar player? Because he is completely blinded in this mask. He is tormenting him with the bat. He's telling him when to play. Something fishy's going on here.
This old money game.
Maybe this masked person represents REN before he got in the industry, kind of this innocent, naive person that took a lot of abuse in his early musical career. Oh, jeez, the gasoline. smell that from a mile away. Woo. This is terrifying. Maybe the image that Ren is trying to picture here is that he had to burn his old self in order to make it in this culture that we live. And to beat the money game, he had to destroy his former self in order to evolve into this next version of Ren we're seeing here. Taking off his microphone. Wow, okay. So let me reinterpret this here. So he is not only burning the guitar player, but he's also going to cover himself in gasoline and likely burn himself alive. So this is terrifying, but a statement that he is making is so powerful because he is saying that this money game has corrupted his younger self, but it's also corrupted him to the point where he has all this guilt, all this remorse, all of these negative emotions that he is currently feeling and trying to reconcile. And it seems like not very well, given himself, he's covering himself in gasoline here. And that is terrifying, right? That the money game has turned him into someone he hates so much. What a powerful, powerful video this is. Oh my gosh. Wow. Was not expecting that at all. The fact that he just went silent for the last 20 seconds there, covered himself in gasoline right next to that guitar player, that masked guitar player. I think the money game, this song, represents his hatred for greed and money and all of these things in society that drive him crazy because he doesn't want to contribute negatively to the world. He wants to be better and he wants to do his best. But this money game, where he probably couldn't receive quality health care because of lack of money, made him go insane and made him hate parts of himself in order to make it in the music industry. If you have any other interpretations or of this music video, I would love to hear it in the comments. I could be way off. This is just how I'm seeing it, y'all, and that's the beauty of art, is that we can interpret it all different ways. But thank you so much for watching this video. Very intense, very harrowing about the commentary of our culture and history. Thank you so much for being here. If you like this, please like, subscribe, and comment. Share this down below. I respond to all comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next music therapy episode.